Well, what was it, 3 weeks ago, I believe? I think this is the fourth Sunday on our series about 14 spiritual tools. If you've missed any of them or want to see any of them, please just go to our website. You'll see a link to our YouTube channel, and from there you can see them all. Of course, they're always available on or through our Facebook page and newsletter. I knew that there was something else there, the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for that, people in the video world, please do so. You get our talks from each week. So anyway, we're talking about the 14 spiritual tools, and the reason that we're talking about this is to help improve our experience of being spiritual beings having a human experience. We've gotten really good at the human part of this, and we sometimes forget the spiritual part of it. And the reason that it's important to remember the spiritual part and actually connect with that and embrace that is, number one, it's beautiful. You create a beautiful experience because that experience is from a place of love and peace and kindness, and that always transforms whatever experience you're in. It's beneficial to us in many, many ways other than just being happier, such as healing. We experience a spiritual healing. We experience an emotional, a mental, and physical healing when we live from our spiritual selves. When we learn to express from our spiritual selves. One of my favorite quotes of all times is, "Be the change you want to see in the world." When we do this from our spiritual truths, from our connection, our oneness with God, we are coming from that place of love and peace and kindness, and that truly is a powerful change, not only within us, but anyone that we come into meet. It just creates a whole new energy. So anyway, like I said, there's 14 spiritual tools, and the ones that we've already been through are affirmations, affirmative prayer, creative work, denials, forgiveness, journaling, looking clearly, and meditation. And like I said, if you missed any of these, go back and watch the video, because these all have very powerful effects in our life. They're transformative, and they allow us to connect more deeply with our truth. So today we're going to see if we can make it through the rest of these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So I'm going to go through them quickly, and we'll only slow down when we're led to slow down. So the next one on our list is the Sabbath. A few weeks ago we talked about the 10 Commandments, and one of those 10 Commandments is remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. We got very confused somewhere along the way and started believing that the Sabbath was a particular day where we stopped, we did nothing. You know, we were taught that to keep it holy, we are not to do anything. You know, there's a lot of the blue laws where there's bars that are closed down. You can't sell alcohol on certain days. You can't work on certain days in some religions. That's not what the Sabbath is all about. I'm not going to say don't follow those rules. If that serves you in some way, please do so. Please follow them. But keep the Sabbath holy is about keeping holy the day. God created for 6 days and rested on the seventh is what it is. And they called that the Sabbath. And that's kind of where we got led into this. Resting on that day does not mean that's how you keep it holy. You have to, you know, because for some of us, resting is sitting in front of a football game, nodding off. My favorite time to sleep is to put on a football game and nod off. It just happens. Don't care how good the game is, I'm going to go to sleep. That's not what this is all about. Keeping it holy is to experience God. Experience your truth, your spiritual truth, your spiritual nature. And folks, you can do that in each moment of each day. The Sabbath is now. The Sabbath is present moment. It's not waiting until Sunday to walk in the doors of a church somewhere and go, I'm keeping it holy. The Sabbath is present moment. The Sabbath is when we take a moment and we consider what we have done, what we have felt, what we have experienced, and we are grateful. Because no matter what we do, no matter what we think, no matter where we've been, we can bring valuable lessons out of it. And we can hold those in gratitude. So the Sabbath is present moment. Remember it. Be aware of present moment. Keep it holy by knowing your spiritual truth. By honoring your spiritual nature, by knowing and honoring your oneness with God and all there is. It's everyday consciousness of God in every situation. The next tool is self-care. We've often been taught that that is selfish. You're going to go get a massage? There's all this stuff that needs to be done. How dare you? We have been shamed and guilted into thinking self-care is a bad thing. If you've ever been a caretaker, you realize self-care is vital. If you have not taken care of yourself, you do not have the energy, the emotions, or anything else you need to take care of someone else. But when you practice self-care, whether that be through meditation or massage or whatever it is, go out for a night on the town, bubble bath, whatever. Unless you do that for yourself, unless you take care of yourself to re-energize you, you will not have what is needed to be there for anybody else. I fall under that trap. Even knowing the truth, I still fall under the trap that I've got to be doing something for everyone or something that affects everyone else all the time. This is one of the hardest ones for me to do. You know, I talked about turning on the football game and taking a nap. That happens pretty rare that I do that. I think yesterday I did it, turn on the football game, but just for noise, and sat down to do some work and fell asleep. But it's not very often. So this one's very difficult for me. So it's hard for me to tell you exactly how to do it. But what you do is you find something that re-energizes you. You find something that gives you energy, something that resonates within you as peaceful or loving or happy or whatever it is that you're craving in that moment. And you give yourself permission to slow down the busyness of your life, to heal, to rejuvenate, to allow yourself to just be. That's self-care. Self-reflection. Now this one often gets a little warped, because in self-reflection it's very easy to go into judgment. It's very easy to go into comparison. It's very easy to go into some very negative and dark places. We can look at ourselves and we can pick ourselves apart, and we can find ourselves in that downward spiral of negative and limiting beliefs. That's not what self-reflection is all about. Self-reflection is about going in and just looking into your soul and finding truth. If you do happen to go into a limiting belief, be grateful that you noticed it, because now you can change it. Self-reflection is about seeing truth. And self-reflection can come in a moment. We're going to talk about visioning. You can find self-reflection in visioning. We've already talked about meditation. You can find it there. We're going to talk in a moment about silence. you can find it there. Self-reflection is something you can do at any moment of any day, but it's not about beating yourself up. If you're beating yourself up, you would be better served not to do any self-reflection at all. Self-reflection is about seeing your truth. It's about reminding yourself of your truth. Billy did a tapping meditation this morning based on the I ams, the power of the two words I am. And those are powerful because whatever we add to that is what we manifest into our lives. I am. This is where this would come into great, become a great benefit in this self-reflection when you keep it positive. I am powerful. I am loving. I am caring. I am worthy. This is not about the egoic bragging that some people do, that I guess all of us probably do in some sense. This is about coming from our heart, from our soul, reflecting into and expressing from our spiritual truth. The next of the 14 spiritual tools is social action. This one is all about serving others. You cannot do this one without the ones we've already talked about. You cannot do this one without the self-reflection, the self-appreciation, the self-care. If you try to jump straight to social action and just go do things for your community, do things for others without taking care of yourself, burnout's going to happen very, very quickly. Anything you do will be done in a limited capacity. It may look great, but it's not going to be anywhere near as powerful and wonderful as what it could be had you taken care of yourself. So the social action, it's just serving others. It's doing something to improve your community. And whether that community is this group of people sitting in this church, or this town, or this county, the state, whatever it is, however you want to define community, one of the spiritual tools is serving others. Now you can go on social media and find all kinds of ways to do this. You probably can do it in your own mind, come up with lots of different ways, so we're not going to get too deeply into things that you can do, but this is very important. It's a very vital part of the staying tuned into your spiritual truth. The next of the 14 spiritual tools is silence. Excuse me. This is a holy place. This is I also call it stillness. Silence is kind of confusing to me because I can be sitting in this room going into meditation, and if I think that I have to be in silence, I'm going to be very well disturbed because we've got air conditioners running. Every once in a while you hear some traffic noise. You'll hear noises. So I almost would change this. If I were writing this article, if my own work was the inspiration for this article, that would be stillness. Because in stillness it is just calming your thoughts. It's calming your reaction to thoughts. It's just being in a space where you and God are one. It's a very holy place, and it's the experience of peace. And through this experience of peace, you are re-energized, you're rejuvenated, you are healed. So, stillness or silence. And then the last of the tools is visioning. This is seeing your dreams. But it's not seeing your dreams and thinking, oh, well, I don't have the money for that. Oh, I don't have time to make that happen. Ooh, that's going to be hard. And that, I don't know why that's going off. You'll have to excuse me just a moment. So anyway, somehow I hit the timer instead of the stopwatch, I guess. Visioning is seeing the highest good of your dream. It's not seeing the limiting things. It's not going to see the barriers. Sure, you can notice the barriers are there just so that you can work around them, work through them, create a path to your dream, but it's seeing the highest good. Visioning is a form of affirmative prayer. Visioning is exactly what happened in it was the book The Lost Mode of Prayer of Greg Braden, where he and the shaman went to the holy place for their tribe and prayed rain. The guy, his prayer was seeing, it was visioning rain falling to the earth, seeing the dust turn to mud, seeing the children playing in the rain, feeling the mud squishing up between his toes, feeling the rain hitting him in the face, experiencing the joy when they were harvesting the crops. It was taking all of your senses on a ride into whatever it is that you are praying. It is not praying for something, it's praying that thing. Visioning is that. And you don't have to take it to some prayer level if you don't want to. Visioning is powerful no matter how you do it, as long as you are seeing it as if it is happening right here and right now. And the science behind that is that everything is energy. Everything, whether it is in your mind or physically right over there or happening right now, it's all energy. And our mind, when we're visioning, cannot tell the difference between whether it's in our mind or actually happening. So in that experience that I was talking about with Greg Braden's shaman friend, the experience that he was having in his mind of the rain, the mind couldn't tell whether it was really a downpour or something that he was just thinking about. So what's happening is the energy of that thing is created. So in visioning, you're creating. In your vision, do not allow yourself to limit the vision. We'll sometimes think, oh, I've got this beautiful picture here in front of me. I'm going to vision for this. I'm going to vision for this brand new motorcycle, and I'm going to see myself riding down the coast of California and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if we do not end that with all this and more, we're limiting it to our human abilities. Allow your vision to expand over and over and over again, and do not be afraid that it's getting too big. Because the truth is, if you can imagine it, you can do it. It is only what we cannot imagine that is impossible. If it comes to your mind, it is a gift. Play with it. Bring that into a vision. Bring that into your visioning process. And just allow it. Do not limit yourself, even in your own mind. So practice these 14 spiritual tools. Create a way to practice these each day. And they don't have to be long. Affirmations can be one thing. It can be one statement. Find one that you can repeat every single day, or find a place that you can go to that offers affirmations every single day. Affirmative prayer. Hopefully you've got an affirmative prayer practice going. Creative work, just make that fun. Just have fun with that. And then go through the whole list. And on our video, I'll put this list in the description, so those of you watching the video will have them as well, because you can't see that board. But take these, practice them, create a practice so that you can open up to experience more fully and then express more fully your true, authentic self, your true spiritual self. Your spiritual beings having a human experience. Allow the spiritual side to be more fully an expression and an experience of your life. So just like these tools, just like the tools in your shed, these tools have to be pulled out. You've got to use them or they're not going to help you. They're not going to do anything for you. Pull them out. Clean them up. Put them to use. Have fun with them. But we've got to pull them out. They do you no good just to have them. It's not. We don't get these by osmosis. You know, we don't just bring them into us without using them. We've got to put them into practice. Because our human self has to have that influence. Our human self is just going to let ego just run it to wherever it's going to go if we do not do something to bring it back in line, bring it back to its proper place, if you will. So knowing that you are a beautiful, spiritual being having this incredible human experience, let's go into prayer and remember that you do have tools at your disposal, if you will. Father God, we thank you for these tools. We thank you for these experiences. We thank you for these expressions that we can bring more fully into our experience on this earth plane, knowing that we are truly spiritual beings. We open our awareness to how we can more fully live that, be that, express that, radiate that. Everything that we could possibly desire, want, or need, we already have within us. And with these tools, we are more able to recognize them, to feel them, to experience them, to use them. Let our awareness stay open to the truth that we are one with you in all things, in all experiences. Let us show our authentic divine nature in all that we do. Knowing that this is possible, knowing that this is true, knowing that this happens in our lives, we say thank you, Father, Mother, God. Amen.